Test. 1, 2, 3. Test. 1, 2, 3.
that you're here. Let's start us out, please, with a moment of prayer. Gracious Lord, we thank you for this opportunity to gather and to learn. Thank you, Lord, for those who are called to serve and protect their communities and our country in all areas of threatening circumstances. Oh Lord, in this increasingly complex and technological world, protect us, and especially those who are fragile and vulnerable. Lord, thank you for Heather and her willingness to come and teach us. Grant us ears to hear and hearts and minds that will listen and also activate and put into use, Lord, that we learned and the knowledge that we've gained. Lord, we give you all the praise. Thank you. Amen. Good morning, and on behalf of the Transition of Life team, I want to thank you all for coming and for listening to us this morning. As you're aware, online deception and identity theft is becoming more and more prevalent and more difficult to identify and to avoid. Heather Turco is here from the Lee County Sheriff's Office. She is a crime prevention practitioner. She's going to educate us on how to more safely navigate social media and how to help lessen the chances of experiencing identity theft. Thank you so much, Heather.
Thank you. All right. So can you tell how many we have online? I'm just curious. Not at the moment. All right. Well, hello if anyone is online. Good morning. And good morning to my faces who are right here in front of me. So my name's Heather Turco. I've been with the Sheriff's Office for 8 years. I am in the Community Response Unit, or CRU, and we literally respond to the community. I appreciate those of you filling out that survey. That's for accreditation. It's an important part of my job, and I know I don't like paperwork either, but I do appreciate your feedback. Let's see, prior to me doing this job here, and what I do is I'm primarily a public speaker. I go out and I have about 15 different presentations. And they, from personal safety, basic self-defense, frauds and scams, we talk about identity theft, social media and online safety, artificial intelligence, safety on the roads, driving safely, senior bullying, residential security, safety in faith communities, workplace violence, active shooter. So that is primarily what I do. People book me, they ask me to come in and be a guest speaker, and then I get to empower you with information. So along with that, I do security surveys. Again, people's houses, businesses, houses of worship, and we go out and we look at communities and see how could we button up our area. So those are the two things I do primarily, and special events and lots of other different fun things that we get to do with the agency. So prior to me doing this and seeing you face to face, I may have been in your living room if you were here years ago. From 97 to 17, I was on NBC2. I was a news anchor here. For 23 years, I was in broadcasting. That was total. And then prior to my broadcasting world, I was a flight attendant for Delta Airlines. That was right out of college. I went to University of Oklahoma. I am from Oklahoma pretty much most of my younger life. I think I've been in Florida now longer than I was in Oklahoma. I wanted to be Julie McCoy from The Love Boat, but that job did not exist like I thought it was going to be. So a little bit about my family. I have 2 children, and while they will always be 7 and 4 years old in my mind, they are actually 25 and 22 years old. My daughter is a brand new baby nurse at Lee Memorial, Lee Health. And then my son, he works at The Golf Guys in Bonita Springs, just up the road here. He does all their e-commerce. So a couple of years ago, they had no online presence. They were just a brick and mortar. And now he got on, developed their website, launched their website, and does all the online sales, which is fantastic. He's enjoying that. My husband, he was at Estero High School as a baseball coach and teacher for 16 years, and then got the opportunity to go work at Canterbury School in Fort Myers. He's in his 12th year. He's the athletic director and still coaching baseball. So we're a big sports family. My mother, who I may mention, I will likely mention in this presentation, she's in her mid-70s. She moved down from Oklahoma to Florida about a year and a half ago. And I think I can say honestly that in the last 6 months, she's been scammed 4 times. I don't know what that says about me and the job that I'm doing to educate people, but you can imagine I'm a little frustrated with everything that's going on. So I'm very passionate about anything online. So what started 8 years ago as just a frauds and scams presentation has grown now into 4 different, and this is one of those. And I understand this generation, and I understand technology. So let's get started. Any questions before I get started? This is our sheriff, Carmine Marcino. He is my boss, and you are his boss. In fact, in our organizational chart, it actually says the citizens of Lee County, which is why you have those feedback forms, right? And then the sheriff and undersheriff and lots of commanders, lieutenants, and so forth. And then I'm way down here at the bottom, which is just fine with me. All right. So talking today about the devices that we use. So I'm assuming that we're all online, which is why you are here today. And as you can see, 96% of Americans use the internet. And I want you to think of your device like a door. It's shaped like a door. And if you are safe at home, in your house, and the doorbell rings or someone knocks on the door, you're going to want to verify who is at the door. And it's easy to do, should be, because they are right outside your door. But we still are not going to open our door to strangers, right, if we're not expecting somebody like that. So think of your device like a door. Now, I want you to understand that the internet is a global entity. We feel very safe and secure here, as you should in Lee County in the state of Florida. We're very blessed to live in a pro-law enforcement, safe and secure environment. But you have to remember that our laws in the United States do not govern Cambodia, Vietnam, Bangladesh, India, Russia. And their laws are very lax when it comes to especially online safety and security. So 5.5 billion people are online and can get to you through your door. Okay? So the problem is we buy the door, right? And I'm going to teach you today how to advocate for yourself. So one of the gentlemen said, "Are you here to keep us safe?" I said, "You actually have to do that yourself. I'm going to teach you. I'm going to teach you, though, some things to look for and how to keep yourself safe." So what do we use and what do we do online? Well, of course, it's all ages of people now. And we take classes. I've got people online right now, I hope, watching what we're doing. And, you know, during COVID, we instantly put a whole new generation of kiddos online to take those classes. A lot of us get our news. We can do research, which is great. I do enjoy doing research. That's the journalist in me. We can connect on social media, which is one of the reasons we're talking about social media today. A lot of us enjoy Netflix and entertainment. Absolutely. And we play a lot of games. And so a lot of those apps you have to remember, because a lot of people say, "How do they get my information?" And I said, well, we install the apps. And the apps usually ask for our phone number or email, and then we agree to the terms. So we're actually agreeing to be tracked, to have them sell our information, and we are now the product. We are the product of the big corporations, and it does come down to dollars, whether it's legal dollars from the big corporations we know and trust, or the criminals who want to get our personal information or money. So who banks and shops online? Any Amazon people here? Banking, yes. So it's convenient. It's convenient. And we're going to talk about layers of security and what you can do to button up. I do as well. I do as well. So I'm sure you recognize lots of these different icons. I am an Amazon person. We've got Google and Gmail, Facebook, Venmo, that's peer-to-peer, shifting finances, money from one place to another. And then we have a lot of mobile banking in our major banks for sure. Now my younger group, and you may be included as well, YouTube, very big, Snapchat, Instagram, X, TikTok, Netflix. So all of those apps that we download into our door, into our world, they do a lot of things that you may not realize. So they collect and they share our information. They do that. And we allow it because we enjoy the game. We want whatever it is the app is offering. They do let you spend real money. They include advertisements, and a lot of them. Do you all remember when email used to just be email? And social media used to just be social media? And our news feeds used to be just news feeds? Now, you cannot go on to any of that without getting a ton of advertisements. Even in our email, I'm like, when did I say that that was okay? Well, they just sort of stick that stuff in, and we're like, what are we going to do? So they're smart, the criminals and the corporations, because they know where our eyes are. Our eyes are not so much now in appointment viewing like it used to be, when we would tune in to certain shows, tune in to the news. We're not watching TV the same way at all. So they know we are on our see, it's a scammer calling right now. Uh-huh. It's okay, because then I get to say it's a scammer calling. Ah. So the advertisers, again, the criminals know where our eyes are. They are in our social media news feeds. They're playing the games. So they know where to find us, and we are at the ready. Link to social media. So I always say read the descriptions, ratings, and reviews. If you are downloading an app, talk to other people, and then read the reviews about that app. We have to do a little bit of research. I'm going to teach you how to advocate for yourself. I always say I wish we had a deputy for every one of us, which during season would be 1.2 million people. Then I could look at your email. I could answer the phone when the scammer calls. But we don't have enough people to do that. So guess what? You all get to be a detective. You get to be the detective and have to filter through some of this. Now, I'm going to help, though. I'm going to help, and I always can. Your device. If you have an iPhone or an Android, these little babies, about $1,000, about $1,000. They're not cheap. The reason there's so much is because they've got security embedded in them, which is why we have to do the updates and things like that, because if there is a security loophole, the criminals find it, and then Apple or whatever, Android, Google, Meta, works to patch it. So that's why we don't have to worry so much about security unless we click on something, and I'll talk about that. Now, my little Lenovo laptop, that's supplied by the sheriff's office. That's supplied by you and your tax dollars. Does not cost $1,000. It's probably $150 maybe. So we have wonderful IT people, and they will put on the malware protection. So I always say make sure that you do have trusted security software if you purchase a device that doesn't have that embedded. Any questions up to here? Yes, so security is embedded in our expensive phones. But now a Mac, anything Apple, anything that's crazy expensive should have it. But it's something that you ask when you're purchasing a device. What kind of safety and security? Now, you're going to have to do some of the work on your own. We'll talk about that. The things that we're trying to protect. And I know if you are on Facebook, who's on Facebook here? Okay, so if you're on Facebook like I am, when we signed up back in 2013, we thought Mark Zuckerberg was really going to protect our information. So we all put our real names, our real birthdays, we did all of that because we didn't think we would get to this point and realize that social media is now a reconnaissance tool for criminals and then for AI. A lot of our information is out there, and we have served it up on a platter. Here I am. Here are my pictures. Here are my grandchildren. So I will tell you that our deputies, all of them have social media. None of them use their real names or birthdays. And I will tell you, too, in your security questions, when they ask for your mother's maiden name, you don't have to default to the truth. We do, because that's what human beings do, especially our generation. We are trusting. We don't walk through life thinking, well, I don't have to put something real. I need to put my real first dog's name, my real high school mascot's name. But you can make that up. It doesn't have to be, but you've got to remember it. You do have to remember it. So this is the information that we're working to protect, and you have to understand, I talk to young people, and everybody gets hit, and this as well. And so if a weird something comes up asking you to verify update, confirm, and you're going to click on it because otherwise something scary is going to happen, it usually will ask for your username and password, and you're playing right into the criminal's game. So let's talk about that for just a moment. What do scammers do? How do they get us? And the reason I'm so passionate about it is because once you fall for a scam, you are emotionally affected. And a lot of times we see people's physical health go downhill because they were hit. It's a violation. So the scammer's tactic works like this. Two things. One thing, they lean on emotion. So it's something really scary. They're going to tell you that's going to happen. Something's going to be deactivated. Benefits are going to be stopped, right? Seized, another good word. Arrested. Lots of scary things because criminals know what gets us to react. On the flip side, amazing, you qualify for this refund. You got this, you won this $1,000 gift card, something really fantastic. So I always say you cannot win a sweepstakes you did not enter. So again, emotion and then urgency. You have 24 hours to, you have 48 hours to, you have 72 hours to. So those are big red flags. Confirm, verify, update. Also, emotion and sense of urgency. Okay. Passwords, they're fun. My gentleman over here, Bruce, was saying he has 300 accounts. I think I have about 75. It's no longer passwords as we used to think passwords. So when I was in broadcasting, my username was always Turco TV, and my password was baseball because my husband coached baseball. I'm going to keep it simple. That's what I'm going to use across all of my accounts. Well, then you had to use a capital letter. Well, okay, so Turco TV with a capital T, baseball with a capital B. I got that. Well, then you got to use a number. All right, so it's Turco TV 1, baseball 1, and we all started there. Simple. Now I will tell you that the government recommends 18 characters in our passwords. So now it's passphrases. So I like this. Never share them with anyone. Change them regularly. And keep them off your desk or, again, away from where people could see it. So longer passwords make stronger. So I say phrases. That could be a song title. It could be a mantra. You know, I love waterfalls was mine for a while, throwing in some different, symbols and things. Symbols are great. So upper and lower case. Maybe you use a 3 instead of E's if you're writing out a word. Use an @ symbol instead of an A. Get creative, because if you use 18 characters or more, it can take trillions of years to figure that out. And remember, more convenient for you, more convenient for the criminal. Tougher for you, tougher for them. So punctuation is great, a nice underscore, some asterisks in some weird places, words not found in the dictionary. And I will tell you, this lovely laptop, I have to change passwords monthly. And I cannot use anything I've used before. Yeah. I know. I would say quarterly at best, but this is the sheriff's office, and we have access to a lot of personal information. So again, longer and stronger passwords. Short, simple passwords can be cracked in seconds. In seconds. Long and complicated ones take trillions of years. And again, 18 characters, numbers, letters, symbols. It's more work for us. That's why you'll find password manager. I see them going to passkey now, and I've started using that. Do I understand all the ins and outs? No, but I do know that the more complicated, the better. The more complicated, the better. Change them regularly, keep them to yourself. Use different ones for different accounts. Ugh, that's also not fun. My mom she's dead set on what she wants to use, and she actually just got her Gmail hacked. She got her Amazon account also hacked. And so someone went onto her Amazon account and just returned everything she had purchased in the last 30 days and applied it to a gift card. So that criminal has access to those funds. It was about $300 or $400. She could not get on it. Now, Amazon is the one getting taken at this point because that person is going to use those funds. My mother has no access, and she's not going to be returning those items. Let's see here. Oh, type it in every time. Oh, what a pain, Heather. Yes, I know. But here's the problem. If we, for our own convenience, say, do you want this device to remember your username and password? That's fine. And I think most of us feel safe to it, and I'm not going to say I don't do that because I do that on occasion. But the problem is if we are in a vulnerable moment and someone gets remote access to our computer and you see the cursors floating around because you think they're helping me because maybe I have a virus. So you start seeing the cursor moving around, someone has gained access. Now they go in your browser history, unless you delete it, which you should. They go into your browser history, they see your financials, they click on that, and you have auto-populated the username and password, and they are in. So typing it in is beneficial. I would say that too for your credit card information. I'm not saying I don't have my payment information on my Amazon, but my daughter recently was on, it's called Comfort, some sweatshirt, jazz, and there was a buy now option. Because she auto-saved her credit card information, she accidentally clicked buy now when she really just wanted to add it to her cart and think about it, and there was no undoing it. And they do not give you your money back. You get store credit. So I said, you just purchased $93 worth of this stuff. And she tried to reach out to customer service. I said, how you get around that is don't put your payment information in and save it. And it's a pain. I got to go to my wallet. I got to get my credit card. I have to do it for Delta Airlines every time I purchase a ticket. I'm a Delta. I still am loyal to Delta. That's who I worked for. But I'm a frequent flyer, Sky Miles person. I don't save it in there. I feel like it's just one more layer of something that I can do and protect myself. Okay, moving forward. Consider authorizing a trusted family member or friend to access your accounts because one day we will leave this planet. And if nobody has access to our phone and nobody knows how to get onto those accounts, and you say you have 75 to 300 accounts, that can be really problematic for our loved ones we leave behind. Now, I'm not saying you have to give that information to them right now, but I would print it out, write it out, do what you need to do, give it to an attorney, tuck it away in a file in case of emergency, something, because we don't want to leave this planet and leave our loved ones to deal with all of those accounts, usernames, and passwords. So again, that's an in case of emergency. So what is an online fraud? The use of the internet or software with internet to defraud us or take advantage of us. And although I teach personal safety, meaning what to do if someone puts their hands on you, we are 1,000% more likely to get hit by this. And again, remember, the criminals are not here. They're on the other side of the planet. Also, please understand, this is their full-time job. They go to work into tall buildings, in call centers. They have scripts, and their job is to try to scam us. And it's not just us, it's other people in different countries too. But I think we just don't understand because we have good intentions. Doesn't everybody have good intentions? Yeah, apparently not. Yes. So how are they coming in? They are coming in and they look like everything, right? Our email, pop-up fraudulent websites that may look legitimate. Pictures can be fraudulent. Profiles on social media can be fraudulent. So they can pretend to be people, they can pretend to be businesses that we know and trust, they can pretend to be government agencies that we know and trust. So we really have to slow down. Again, you're going to have to be that detective. Slow down and think, is this legitimate? I need to verify it. So you would quickly see this, and we see that Apple icon. We understand that that is Apple. My humanness is going to see account locked, right? But let's really read that. You account has been locked. And if we look even further, it looked like your account is out date and request to update account ownership information. I mean, it's just a garbled, terrible grammatical mess. Now, artificial intelligence is helping. So while we used to be able to see a lot of errors, AI is helping the criminals get better so things look more legitimate. Now, if I were going to click on that account verification, it would then ask me for my username and password. And if I was so trusting and I thought, oh my gosh, my account's been locked, that's a scary word. So I've got to do that because why? 24 hours or your account will be permanently locked. There's that sense of urgency. Something else you'll notice, there are no names on here. And if something is legitimate, it should have your name on it. Otherwise, it's client, buyer, customer, ma'am, sir. Okay? So really scrutinize it. I will tell you, before I move on, 99% of the stuff coming in is fake or fraudulent. 99% of the stuff coming in. In my frauds and scams presentation, I say, don't answer your phone if you don't know who's calling. It's as simple as that. Now, I know that the new update has something where you can record or have your person calling in record a name. I love that. But we're playing catch up all the time. We're constantly behind. We're behind the criminals. They're smarter than us. Finally, our service providers will say scam detected, scam likely, potential scam or spam, giving us permission to not answer the phone, but today I'm giving you permission to not answer the phone. So put your contacts in your phone. Now, if you say, Heather, I'm waiting on a call from someone who's going to fix my air conditioner, and they're not going to be in my phone. Okay. Answer your phone. Hello. As soon as there's any hesitation and no one speaks to you right away, hang up. If it's something important or it's a legitimate call, they'll call back, but I just hang up. Hello? And I have to answer my work phone all the time because it's residents, it's people calling. I don't have contacts in. You know, usually Lee County Sheriff's Office can kind of shut down some people. And don't be afraid to get creative. Here's the deal though. We're so kind and generous and helpful, and we want to get help as well. And the criminals know that because we are so trusting. Now, if you, and I'm sure you are, here we are in a church, in a house of worship, you may not want to be nasty to anybody, and I get that. So this is how it sounds. Wow, this sounds really important. I'm going to take your information, and I'm going to call you back. I'm going to do a little research on this. I got a buddy in the sheriff's office. I'm going to check in with them, and I'm going to call you back. They're not going to want you to get off the phone. They are not going to want you to disconnect. But that's what you say. You can still be kind. You can still be polite. Wow, this sounds really important. My grandson's in jail in North Carolina? Okay, well, we can tell you if that's the case. I missed jury duty. You're coming to arrest me? We can tell you if that's the case, which it is not. That is a scam. But you have to be comfortable and confident enough to get off the phone with these people. And if there's anything that has to do with banking, we call the number on the back of our card, right? Or we walk into our bank. So again, it's advocating for yourself, and you know what? If you don't feel comfortable doing that, and if you're uncertain, you reach out to me. I have cards I'll give you. In this case here, and you're wondering, when did this all start, this scam mess? It was during, for the most part, COVID. Now, we had heard about tax refund scams. That's kind of where it started. I was still in broadcasting then. But then during COVID, so much money was flying around, and we were what? So emotional, so frightened. Was there a sense of urgency? Yes. And the criminals knew that, and they took advantage of us. So a lot of money flew out. So this is a fake World Health Organization. Now, any of you or I could just create a legitimate looking email. I can just Google image anything. I want the Apple for logo, or logo for Apple. I want the logo for World Health Organization. And then here we go. Dear sir, no name. Sir, ma'am, client. Dear sir, go through the attached document on safety measures regarding the spread of coronavirus. Click on the button to download. So it's either going to ask you for information, give you a virus in your computer, hack into your contacts, and then there is a spelling error here. Symptoms, common symptoms include fever, cough with a weird word, shortness, something. And then nobody I can really reach out to here. But we have to slow down, because we're so trusting and so scared at that point and frightened. A lot of people could potentially click on that. A third of U.S. adults have been victims of financial scam or fraud. 40% have lost money. That's 4 in 10 people. That's a lot of people. And so often they don't want to tell you. So like I said, my mother's been scammed multiple times, despite me preaching. "Heather, you're talking to me like I'm a child." I'm like, Mom, it's just the world is different now. You just cannot trust. The FTC gets millions of complaints every year. These are not human beings calling your phone. Now, they may be coming up with creative email. This is a computer algorithm. It's a robocall. And then what happens when I told you, if you hear that hesitation, that's the computer working to connect you to someone probably on the other side of the planet who's going to try to talk you into something or tell you something scary. But we have to regain control there. So in this case, the victim received an email. This is a local case from a friend who was out of town and said, "I need 3 $100 Apple iTunes gift cards so I could give them to my niece. I'm out of town. Could you do me a favor?" Well, we hear favor, like, sure, absolutely, right? I can help you with a favor. After the cards were purchased, she was asked to remove the security seals and send pictures of the cards. Victim then received another email asking for 5 more gift cards, because I will tell you, you fall for something once, you are on the sucker with money list, and they will come back at you with asking for more money. So at this point, the victim got suspicious, called her friend. She said, "I didn't make the request. In fact, my computer was hacked, and this email went out to all of my friends, and 3 of them fell for it." Yeah. So the friend advised again that she had been hacked. Remember this: gift cards are for gifts you see there and never needed to pay a fee. I like a good gift card, but be very cautious. If you hear gift card, if you hear Bitcoin, that's a scam. If you're just not sure, you call me, okay? I've had people forward me email. I've had people, come up with me with physical snail mail, letters and things. So much junk mail. The junk mail we used to get in our mailbox, it's all now landing in our email. And so much of it is a scam. So I want to talk a little bit about online safety when it comes to bullying. So bullying, I have a whole presentation on senior bullying. Why? Because we are all children in adult bodies. We are all children in adult bodies, right? That is who we are. And unfortunately, with social media, Facebook, I see a lot neighbor to neighbor. I see, oh my goodness, political craziness. We also see the HOA. People aren't happy with the HOA board members, and it gets pretty ugly quickly because you can hide behind a screen. So if you're having any issue at all, document it, right? Seniors, our folks, spend a lot of time online. Scams can turn into harassment. Isolation amplifies impact, and family conflicts can spill onto social media. I think those are all truths we know. So be cautious. What I'm saying is be kind. Be kind on social media and disengage if someone is not allowing you to. You're going to have to block, report, and just stop interacting. And scammers can do that too. They can really make you feel badly and guilty. Some encouraging news though, more of our seniors are willing to speak up. Platforms are making it easier to report, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Social media should be a place of connection, not conflict. So for you all, and remember I talk to all ages, and I will tell you employees, or I should say employers, absolutely look at people's social media to see what kind of person they're getting, right? They look at the character. So your online reputations should say a lot of good things about you. Beware what you share. In the age of social network, yep, we can share moments in our lives, and we used to do that so much more. Share less now. We've got to pull back on that. Opinions, adventures, a delicious dinner or evening with friends. I would caution you even to like a post, especially if it's not a post from a friend. Say it's a national post, say you like it. Everyone can see that you've liked it. I can click on those likes, I can see everybody who's liked that. So my mother got scammed last fall. She was following a fitness influencer, a man who was out of Texas. Now, he is a legitimate fitness influencer. So she liked a post, and then the criminals swoop in, and they see that she liked the post. They go to her profile, and then they direct messaged her. Hey, I see that you liked my post. Wasn't this person, this is the criminal. But my mother thinks it's the fitness influencer, who, by the way, at the top of his page says, I don't direct message anyone. I don't have a fan club. I don't have a management team. There are so many scammers pretending to be him. And what they do is they take his posts and his video and his content, create a new profile page, and then they post. And they try to get these people to follow him. So my mother has probably sent $4,000 to $6,000 to this man in Texas. And those are very uncomfortable conversations for me to have with her. Why? Because she thinks she's talking to the real person. And this person, terms of endearment, baby, angel, beautiful, lots of lovely things, but it is not this person. But I can't get into it because it gets me really frustrated. So we do not realize the consequences of sharing too much. We overshare. It used to be okay. We would sit down on an airplane and we would tell the person next to us our life story. We would get into the airport shuttle. Yes, we're going to Italy for 2 weeks. We're so excited. Be so cautious who you're talking to. You don't know someone's intention, especially online. Beware what you share, your birthday, location, even pictures now that can have geotags. Listen, you all are watching the Nancy Guthrie abduction. Nancy Guthrie abduction, Savannah Guthrie's mother. So I can't even imagine what that investigation looks like. They're pulling out everything they can to attempt to find this woman. But there is a lot of digital information attached to your social media, I should say. So yes, cautious about putting any of this information. And if you are single and you live alone, we're not going to tell anybody that. No stranger. People we know and trust, yes, that's fine, but we're not telling anybody. You're traveling alone, we're not telling anybody we're alone. You're on an airplane, that's my son up there, 6 rows up, he works for the sheriff's office. You say that, right? That's when I teach residential security and personal safety. Okay, so when I teach about personal safety, if you want to say anything, so I'm not a huge fan of Uber and Lyft. Anybody take Uber and Lyft? Okay. We're not going to tell people that's our home. We're going to tell people that we're visiting our son who works for the sheriff's office. We overshare too much. If you're on an airplane, I say that when I talk about travel safety, I got separated from my friend. They're up there, right? And it could be brother, sister, whatever it may be. But come up with some creative things to say so you can still be friendly. But I like it. Let's not share vacation plans, embarrassing things, info about your job, and you can set your privacy settings. So a lot of us are guilty of this. We buy the device, the $1,000 thing, but then we don't go on the settings and really, really learn your device. And it could be a tablet, a laptop. Go onto your settings, even your email. There are a lot of things that we can do that they don't teach us how to do. They don't come out and say, hey, here's your iPhone. And by the way, you're probably going to want to check your privacy settings and do lots of things. You can make your font bigger. There are a lot of really great, cool things. I say that same thing about a car. You buy a new car, learn your car. That website that you're on, say it is social media or Facebook. I'm going to actually have an example on Facebook. Click on the 3 dots, click on the 3 lines. If it's Visa, Chase, whatever it is, get in there, dig in there, click on everything. See what you're agreeing to. See what you've opened yourself up to. It's time. It's a new hobby. It'll be a new hobby. So our guard is often down when we're using social media. We feel like we're safe. It gives scammers an easy way in. Check your privacy settings. Do not engage with strangers. Because I want to have a strong impact here, I've got to bring up something that is uncomfortable. So one of the recent headlines, and I've got 2 young people in my life, and my husband works with a lot of young people. So a lot of our young people are gamers, and they're wearing headphones when they're playing these video games, and they're connecting with strangers. So in this particular case, this young man thought he was connecting with a female his age. And that female talked him into sharing intimate images of himself. And then all of a sudden, it wasn't the female. It was these two Nigerian brothers. And they extorted him for $500, that if you don't give us $500, we're going to take those images that you shared thinking you were talking to a female, and we're going to send them to all of your contacts and your parents and your friends. So he actually ended up taking his life because he felt so guilty and shamed. So we were able to find these brothers arrested for cyber stalking, child exploitation, and extortion in this case. And listen, he's not the only one. There are many. So in response to this and other things, we have the Take It Down Act, which addresses non-consensual images. This could be a husband-wife, a boyfriend-girlfriend, right? And they've shared images online and then break up. And then someone wants revenge and starts putting images out. So this federally protects victims whose intimate images are shared without consent, requires websites to take down the photos and videos within 48 hours, and it looks to crack down on sexually explicit deep fakes. A lot of online stuff we're having to worry about now because of AI. And I did say, had this young man really understood AI and Photoshop, I would have said, do it. Share the images. I'll just deny it's me. You took my picture from social media and you put it on another body, and I'm just going to deny it's me. So talk to the young people in your life to be very cautious who they are engaging with. Why is that? Because 1 in 10 accounts is fake. 1 in 10 social media, Instagram, Snapchat, and then it pours into Facebook, dating apps, LinkedIn, Indeed. It is so easy, and any of us could do it, to create a profile and then start reaching out to people pretending to be a business or a human we are not. So I shared this story here. So my mother received this image. This was a while ago. One of the first imposter scams that I had to deal with personally. She said, look at this nice man. Look at who I'm talking to. And I said, are you talking to him? Because any of us can go into Google and write picture of man, or man in military uniform, and then hit images, or woman in military uniform and hit images, and you can be whoever you want to be. You just take, copy and paste into a new profile, you start it up, and you start reaching out to people. So I said to her, I don't think that's who he's saying he is. Okay. She said, well, I did ask him, I told him you work for law enforcement and that I did have some questions. So he sent me a picture of his passport. So this is a man in the military who has met my mom online, supposedly, known her for maybe 1 or 2 weeks, and is sending his information electronically. Does that seem like something a man in the military would do? Yeah. Look at his picture. I don't know about you if you have a passport, but I don't know any picture that looks like that. That's pretty good. They're all like mugshots. You can't smile. They're terrible pictures on passport photos. So I said, Mom, I don't think that it's who this is. But I am the detective, right? I'm going to protect my mom. So I find an image online on Facebook. I'm like, okay, that matches up. Do you know how many friends this person had? One friend, my mom. One attached to this profile. So I did say, or she said to me, I should say, he did say, because I said, I asked specific questions, right? FaceTime with the guy. He did say a background check wouldn't show anything due to his position as senior advisor, to his commanding officer, and his location. They don't want to make it easy for any enemies to find out anything about anyone who could be captured. So now I have a military man who's in enemy territory who could potentially be captured, also striking up a romance with my mom. Yes. So I continue to be that detective, and I happen to find another profile. So what I did is I took this picture and I threw it into Google. I did a search on the image. So what will happen is that image, wherever it is online, will pop up. And guess what? It popped up on another profile. New name? He has a new name. And then she actually believed me. Maybe she did. Listen, they play into your emotions. It's social engineering. They start these relationships, and it's very tough to get their teeth out of the victims. All right, Facebook scams, just so you know. Phishing is actual phishing with a PH. They just throw out the bait and see who takes it, right? Romance scams, you've won a sweepstakes. Bogus job scams, shopping scams, fake charity, Facebook quiz, fake friend requests. Ever get a friend request from someone you're already friends with? Oh, that's odd. I had a woman, her husband died 2 years ago. She had gotten 5 Facebook friend requests from her dead husband, meaning someone had taken the images, created a profile, and then was reaching out. I'm going to show you. Suspicious links about you. They know, did you see who died? Did you see this picture of you? Did you check out this, right? Something like, ooh, I want to click on that. Again, sense of urgency, right? Something curious. And then we have fake coupons and discounts. Signs of a catfish, kind of like what my mother was dealing with. Refuse to talk on the phone, and they will not FaceTime, which we should all be able to FaceTime now. Always on the move. They're like James Bond, Frankfurt, Oslo, London, right? Profile has a lot of errors. They get serious too quickly, and they will ask for cash or gift cards. And we're seeing fewer errors because of artificial intelligence. So only connect with people you know. But how many of you know who is behind the door? So I got a friend request from this guy. So this came in, and I decided to use it in my presentation. So if you don't know who that is, that's Sam. I think it's Sam Shepard. He's like a weather guy, news guy, yeah. So I didn't know that at the time. I'm like, okay, well, I am married, by the way. So this is Michael Power, supposedly, with these images of this blonde person from Atlanta, Georgia. So I'm going to teach you now how to be the detective. Are you ready? So on Facebook, you're going to go to About, their About information. See Michael's About information. And it shows no workplaces, no schools. It still says Atlanta and divorced. That's curious. Well, there was another image that he had posted there 1 hour ago. We see that 1H. And I like coffee, so I'm like, okay. You see that like? Remember I told you can click on likes, and you can see who's liked what? Well, let's go and see who liked Michael from Atlanta's photo of him drinking coffee. Zirkalani Maikano. Zirkalani liked that photo. Zirkalani is from Nigeria. I see a lot of information about him. He's got 2,400 friends. It's interesting how this connection is happening. But yes, has lots of information about this young man. And when I tell you it is global, Facebook, it's global. And so then I continue to look. I look at the friends. I continue. Now I'm looking into this man to see what's going on there. So I look at Zirkalani's friends, and he's got a lot of Abbas. Abba, 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 hot, Abba, Abba, Abba. Faces I don't really recognize. I don't know if they're American. I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no. Then we have Michael Power updated her cover photo. That's interesting. Then we've got likes again. Well, who is another like? We've got this one over here. So that's what I'm talking about. Slow down. I'm going to be honest. I don't even accept Facebook friend requests anymore. I don't care. I'm friends with who I want to be friends with now, and beyond that, I'm just not going to anymore. Then we have this one. Michael Power, still, my blonde, divorced, fake friend, is now a female. Yeah. And then just more images here. It's frustrating because we're so trusting. Okay, you asked. This is legitimate. This is an actual person, so don't think that they're a scammer. So when you see this and they send you a friend request, do you see those 3 dots up here? Would you ever think to click on those? Yes, now. So you're going to click on those 3 dots. Again, something Mark Zuckerberg doesn't really teach us. So you're going to click on those 3 dots. It's going to bring up profile settings. Report profile, help Brad, block, search, share profile, and then the profile link. So we're going to go to report profile. So you click on report profile and you come over here, select a problem, pretending to be someone, fake account, fake name, inappropriate things, harassment or bullying, and something else. Many of you don't even know that exists. I report profiles all the time, especially my fake fitness influencers who are pretending to be this guy. And I think I've gotten 3 or 4 taken down now. I'm relentless. I'm relentless. We'll continue. Who are they pretending to be? Maybe they're pretending to be your friend. Maybe they're pretending to be you. So you can pick that, which friend, and then you've now reported it, and then Facebook should get back with you. I have a friend in Texas, and someone was using his photo to create a fake profile. And so they reached out to him. They finally got a hold of him, and he said, that's not me. And they were in love. They were in love with my friend, and he felt terrible. All right, privacy and security settings. You're going to want to do this on your bank accounts, on your email, on your social media. Get into settings, dig around, set up those privacy settings. All right, keeping your money safe online, super important. 2-step authentication, what a pain. It's asking me for a code on my phone, so I have to go over and get my phone. That is for safety and security. There will be a time when passwords will be non-existent. It's going to be our face, right? Face recognition. It was our thumb for a while there, but this is going to be helpful. Set that up. So if you don't have a 2-factor authentication and you're able to set it up, please do. Also, when you're on those websites, you want to make sure that those are legitimate websites. Again, you get to be the detective. So secure with the padlock, HTTPS, that's good. I'm always leery when I'm typing in my credit card. Okay, is this an actual business? Is this the right business? But I'm going to give you the best practices to protect yourself. Online shopping, oh my goodness, $6 trillion online. And guess what? Cyber criminals want your money. Yes, they do. So we always say a credit card is better. A credit card is better than debit. Debit's not horrible, but credit card companies, those big financial entities, they have a lot of protections in place to help you out. My mom does have a debit card. At some point, she donated to a fraudulent campaign site, Political Action Committee, $50, and then money started flying out of our account because they have your information. You have given, here's my credit card information and my security code and when it expires, and my name, by the way. Here it all is on a fake website. So now the scammers have you. And it was 20 charges, about $2,000. The good news, she was reimbursed all that money. Somebody has to pay for all of that. She was reimbursed with the money, and we went back. I said, when did this start? How did this happen? She said that $50 that she thought she was donating, when she got a text that said, Risa, we need your help to get our person elected, our candidate. She's like, I'm going to help because why? We help. That's what we do. But it was a fake website, and they can create fake websites. So beware of public Wi-Fi. You can play games, but no shopping, no finances on public Wi-Fi. Confirm the site, keep your records, check your statements. And I would tell you, if you have your apps on your phone, I check my finances every day, multiple times a day. You might want to see when your Social Security benefits have been deposited. You just want to make sure that your payments are your payments. Your purchases are your purchases. So check your statements. I'm going to talk quickly about VPN. So VPN is virtual private network. It basically encrypts information. It's unable to be tracked. It does help protect your data if you are on public Wi-Fi, and creates a tunnel, if you will. So I dive deeper in this in my dark web presentation. But how it works, it basically is, it kind of bounces you around. It has to go through different things, your different servers, and instead of just being a straight line across. It's not too difficult either, but you do have to purchase one. A VPN, virtual private network. It's usually something you plug right in. Your phone can also work as one. Peer-to-peer. Anybody use peer-to-peer, Venmo, Zelle? Okay, fair. I was reluctant, but I got on board. But what I will tell you, it's a third-party entity or app. Doesn't have a lot of fraud protection, so don't keep a lot of money in Venmo, setting in Venmo. No transactions with strangers. Be aware if they only take peer-to-peer or prepaid debit. Review those apps, those policies I talked about, fraud protection. Link the app to a credit card and not your bank. That's helpful. Verify their information. And strong, unique passwords. Strong, unique passwords for anything financial. Just like I said, always type it in. I would tell you to always log out or sign out. Now, our banks have gotten better. 15 minutes at times out. I think that's great because a lot of us don't do that. Log out, sign out. Avoid saving your username and password on a website. I've given you a lot of information. I'm going to give you a handout today. This is where I show you happy people online. Happy people enjoying what they can. And listen, our phones are super convenient. I love it because we can dial 911. I love the GPS tracker that we use for 911 and other apps for safety and security. I love how to get my directions on how to get to this church today. So there are a lot of wonderful things our phones do. The problem is we're opening the door to a lot of strangers, and we're falling for the stories that they're telling us. We are falling for it. And it's young people too. Our naive college kiddos, they receive a weird email or a weird phone call, and they tend to believe. They tend to trust. We had a scam. Someone was calling these FGCU students. You didn't pay your student tax. It's $500. You're going to get expelled. You're not going to have access to your classes. Your student tax, $500. Well, what do I do? What do I do? Well, I just need to get a credit card. Get a credit card. Don't pay the student tax. And what would they do? They pull out their credit card and they pay, which doesn't exist. There's no student tax. I do like to talk about our civilian support unit. So that is our volunteer unit. If you have an affinity for law enforcement, would ever want to volunteer, we've got a great community and unit there. So you're going to say, Heather, you didn't talk about some stuff. And you're right, because I do have 4 presentations on this topic. So I'm trying to think here if there's anything I missed. Do you have any questions for me specifically? Is your head spinning? Well, the problem is, again, our federal government is not doing enough. Our federal government is not doing enough to protect us, but how do we implement global standards? Do we want to be governed globally? I think most people say no. So we have to then advocate and govern for ourselves. And so this is the FTC has put this out, how to avoid a scam. I will tell you, law enforcement will never call you and ask you for anything. Law enforcement should never reach out to you unless we're investigating a burglary or something that you were involved in. But even then, you can call us back. We'll let you disengage, make sure that we are on the up and up. Yes, ma'am. Scam. Mm-hmm. We don't sell T-shirts. We don't ask for money. We're not going to call you and tell you you're going to be arrested for anything.
I probably get 4 a month. Yeah. 4 calls a month.
So I have a tendency to talk to scammers because I want to. Oh, sure. Great. You know what you say? Well, I love the fire department, and I will absolutely support. So I'm going to get in my car. My fire station's right down the street, and I'm going to go take him a check right now. Thank you for letting me know. Bye-bye. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
I just have a story. My brother got a call from somebody who told him he won $3,000. And my brother is so smart. He said, you know what? I don't really need that $3,000. I'm going to give it to you. You take the 3,000. Anyway, then they ended up in a conversation where my brother talked to him about Jesus in his faith.
Love it.
And the scammer, they talked for about half an hour, and then the scammer said, if I call you back, will you answer? Anyway, they ended up having a second conversation. But anyway, my brother just said, you take the $3,000.
I think I'm going to use that. I'm going to use that in my presentation. That's great. Well, if you start yelling F-bombs at them, they'll just F-bomb you right back. They'll curse right back at you. So I also try to take the better route, and I say, you are a criminal and you're not going to heaven. Like, you might want to rethink this gig, right? I've typed it, I've texted it, you are a criminal and you are not going to heaven. Rethink what you're doing right now. I had a gentleman, or a man, yes, gentleman, I am going to heaven, click. I'm like, okay, as long as I get you thinking, that's it. Yes, sir.
Is there any agency that looks at the credit cards and how many times they're scammed and the amount that's been scammed? And is there any recovery actually?
Okay. So most of our credit card companies do offer services and can reimburse you, and then they will take that case and they will look into it. So that's the good news on our side, but it is frustrating. So I was on the phone, I think, with my mother's bank when we were going through every one of her charges to see, what was legitimate and what wasn't, and they removed all of the fraudulent charges and gave her money back. Now, if you're talking about like a LifeLock protection, people have asked me about that. I've heard nothing bad about LifeLock, but for me, that's like you cleaning your own home or hiring someone to clean your house. LifeLock does everything that you can do. Monitor your finances, monitor your credit report. We would say that. Freeze your credit, lock down your social security number. These are all things we can do to advocate for ourselves. And they would help you do that, but we could too. Yes. We have an economic crimes unit, and they investigate because, I think their arrest rate is about 8%. Yeah, why? Well, because with frauds and scams, it's usually out of county, out of state, out of country. And are we going to Nigeria to find these people? Now, our federal government does work with like Interpol and all of the other agencies around the globe to try to track these people down, but it's not easy. And so our deputies and detectives in our economic crimes unit spend a lot of time one-on-one trying to convince people, no, you are not talking to the actor from General Hospital, and no, he does not need your money and he's not going to pay you back. Or you talking to the Hallmark actor and you've given $280,000 and he actually sent you roses because why wouldn't you? You've given him $280,000 and you refuse to believe the detective because you are all in on the Hallmark actor. And this is an actual case we are dealing with right now. Bitcoin scam, 6-month investment, Bitcoin scam, $4.3 million somebody lost here in our area over this. They're so good at what they do. And even with my mom, I looked up a lot of information about this person she is talking to in Texas. I have his address because she sent a check to him. He's a convicted sex offender. He has foreclosures and liens on his property, a couple of DUIs. Like, he's a mess. I have his picture. I presented this to my mom. This is who you're talking to. She refuses to believe me. Yeah. And you know what she does? She then goes to him and tells him about all the stuff that I have done. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And they have good answers. They have good answers. Yes. No, but I'm going to take her out for Valentine's Day. I'm going to take her out to breakfast. I am going to do that. Oh, my God. You don't even know the half of it. I have more stories. You want one more before we go? We like the idea of love, right? We do. And she had a boyfriend up in Oklahoma, and she had to leave him to come down here. And yeah, she's lonely for sure. Absolutely. So we need to come up with an app. A ChatGPT app that's going to love on people from morning to night and send you lots of wonderful things and interact with you. Not ask for money. Oh, I do. At this point, I do. It is encrypted. I do. I do trust ChatGPT until I can't. So I came in, had run errands, and I came in, and my mom's sitting on the couch with her phone in her hand, and it's on speaker, and then she's got her bank card in her other hand. And so I'm putting things away, groceries away, and I kind of look at her like, what's going on? And she's like she's got it. She's got it handled. I'm like, okay. So I'm continuing to put things away, and I'm hearing him talk to her, and it's sounding like there's an issue. There's an issue. So I walk around. She's sitting right here, and I stand right next to her. And I have to say now out loud, and she's got this guy on speakerphone, who are you talking to? And she's like looking at me, completely overwhelmed. And then I say, I take the phone. I said, who are you? Oh, I'm Michael from Apple Support. Are you? Yes, I'm out in California, based in California. Fantastic, Michael. How did this call originate? Well, because I said I'm her daughter. I said who I was. I said, I work for the sheriff's office. And he said, well, your mom called me because there was an issue with her Apple Pay. And I look at her and I said, did you call? Where did you get this number? She goes, I received a text that there was an issue with my Apple Pay. And I said, Mom, you don't have Apple Pay. I said, have you given this guy your information? He's here. He can hear. Have you given this man your information on your bank card? Mm-hmm. I said, okay. And then I was nice. Sir, we're going to have to call you back. I said, if you're legitimate from Apple Support, we'll call you back. But I'm thinking not. And we hang up. I said, Mom, if there's any issue with money, what do? Right? We call the number on our bank card. I said, we're going to do that now. So as we're doing this, we call the number. We shut down all of her accounts, locked them down. She said, Heather, I was on the phone for an hour and a half with this guy. He was reading her charge after charge after charge, saying, was this your charge? Was this your, oh, I'll take that off. I'll take that off. Someone, I'll take that off. So she's thinking, I'm getting help. My gosh, someone's trying to charge all this too. He also convinced her, even better, to install an app that gave him remote access to her phone. He was creating Zelle recipients, and money was flying out, $100, $100, flying out of my mother's account. Thankfully, we locked it down. There was about $800 at that point out. And of course, she was completely compromised. The phone's corrupted, the bank accounts are compromised, everything's compromised. So on the bank, they said, well, Miss Risa, they're so sweet. Miss Risa, we're going to have to put this in your daughter's name. We're going to consolidate all your accounts and put your money in your daughter's name, $80,000. I'm like, she is hating this. She is hating it. I'm like, well, Mom, you know where I live. So, hopefully you can trust me. I'm not going to go out and go shopping, but I could. No, it wasn't really a funny matter, but you're trying to make light of it. So they said, you cannot have access to your money on your phone until you get your phone factory reset, wiped clean. Well, that's fun. So you break it, I fix it. And by the way, there are lovely people there who work there. And this happens a lot. And you give them your phone. And they did. They cleaned it all up, wiped it of viruses and everything. And because she had an iCloud account, everything downloaded, all her pictures. She was so worried. All her pictures, all her contacts, everything was basically reloaded. And then we had to start all over. Her Gmail account was recently compromised. And you, sir, I think you said I should get a new email. I'm not opposed to that. I'm not opposed to a good email that's only for finances. And then all the other stuff that we sign up for, all the junk, have a junk email that you know that. Now, you're going to have to keep an eye on both emails, but most of the junk is just that. It's advertisement, so much advertisement. I'll sign up for something because I want the 10% discount. Wayfair, we'll say, Wayfair. Now, all of a sudden, I'm getting Wayfair ads all through my email. So I'm an unsubscriber. I go through, I unsubscribe, I block, delete, send to spam. I do all of that because I feel like at least I can advocate a little bit for myself. And because when she came down from Tulsa, she had 50,000 email messages. So we just spent our time going through and deleting and deleting and deleting. It fills up so quickly. I mean, 100 in a day easily. If you've signed it to for a newsletter or rewards or what have you. Yes. They're like, we don't see it. We don't see that you unsubscribed. Maybe you'll come back to us. It does happen. It does happen. But sometimes it takes a little while for it to finally kick in. So you can block or send to spam, report as junk. So then it will just go right to your spam folder. Just go in and clean it out periodically. Constantly. Yes. So maybe you have one that you don't give out to a lot of people. And then one that's junk, almost like that. Well, I'm so glad you all came. Yes.
So I'm on my way to go pick up my computer because I was with them last Friday, and they told me all my bank accounts are shut down, and I had to get my computer cleansed and
Mhm.
cleaned.
Wiped. Mm-hmm.
What about my cell phone?
You might have them take a look at it.
Who?
Who-
The provider. I just had switched from AT&T to Xfinity,
Mm-hmm.
and so I bring it to Xfinity and have them do what they will.
You
do
could
with my
call
cell
them
phone.
and see, or you could take it to the You Break It, I Fix It.
Yeah.
They're good with all kinds of devices.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how about the Xfinity store up the road?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I would call and ask first, or just stop by.
Call Xfinity and ask them to.
Do you do this? Yeah.
Yeah.
My phone may have been compromised. Can you check and see that everything's running?
What will they do with the cell phone? I mean, I understand the computer a little bit more. I mean, the scammer taught me about the 3 dots. I really learned some education from him. He got in and he showed me that I saw my whole bank account.
So did you give him remote access?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And $20,000 is what he said I screwed up by not putting. He was trying to convince me that it was McAfee antivirus and that I had agreed to a $300 program. And I said, no, I didn't. I don't want it. He goes, well, do you want your money back? I can get you a refund. I said, okay. He goes, now do what I say. He led me down the path.
Right, download this,
Hour
and
and
do
a
that.
half, and then I was so sick that day, but I went to the bank in my pajamas with a jacket over, and I laid the phone down, because he was still on.
Awesome.
And I'm shaking and trembling, and I think I'm being spammed. He said, hang up, I can tell you what to do. So, okay. And so then it all went from there, but now my Minnesota banking has been hacked, my Florida banking is hacked. I mean, I'm in a mess, and I'm vulnerable. My husband just died. I'm checking his emails, and I'm thinking I'm doing the right thing, and I'm sucking it.
I'll give you my card. I'm going to have you call our non-emergency number, get you in touch with one of our detectives so you can file a police report. It's not going to hurt anything.
Yeah.
And just document, and hopefully we can get any funds that are gone back to you.
Yeah. Well,
You think you're okay?
I caught the fun part. It was 20,000.
Whew.
And I think I'm clean of that, but I feel so personally vulnerable because I was just starting to ascend the grief scale, coming out of it just a little bit so I could think better, and now I'm way down in the pits, and I'm just like shaky all over again in my confidence.
Which is why I'm out here doing what I'm doing. I'm going to give you my card, and so you can reach out to me, and then we'll get you with. We got some great detectives, and you're not alone. Here's the deal: you're not alone.
They got 3,500 on another deal. So, and I could tell a half dozen stories here. Maybe that's not for today, but somehow I'm telling everybody at church, put TOD on your accounts, because my late husband failed to do that when we got married 8 years ago, and so then I had to go to probate.
So she's talking. Yes, so she's talking about your spouse, making sure that you are on everyone's on everybody's accounts. So making sure the beneficiaries are good, the house is in a trust. I mean, that's a whole other presentation. But yes, there's a lot of planning and things. So I can help you with some of that guidance as well.
Do you have a list of classes?
I do.
I need them all.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you all so much for coming today. I appreciate it. I do have a couple of handouts here.
Thank you so much, Heather, for coming. This has been just a wealth of information. We are so grateful. And if we could just pray for a moment. Thank you, Lord, for the protective services that you've provided, for the people who enable us and educate us. And Lord, we have received so much wonderful information. Help us to be good stewards of what we have and of the resources that are available. We thank you, Lord, for your goodness, and again for Heather and her team and all that they do to help keep